Well, welcome to Speaking of Horses. I'm your host, Wayne Williams, and we're ready to go right here with some of the great stories from the horse industry. So join us as we get ready to go Speaking of Horses right here on this station. Hey, Wayne Williams, Speaking of Horses, and we are talking the main event today. Now, the main event is a great horse event. There's two or three of these around North America. There is a new one starting in Scottsdale at the West World Grounds in Scottsdale, and it's the main event. It's coming up May 26th to 28th. And we at Speaking of Horses are going to be a part of this thing, and we're really happy to be there. And we're joined right now by Gail Barker. Now, Gail, welcome, and tell us about this event in Arizona.
Well, we're pretty excited to be at Westworld. What it is going to be, Wayne, is it's going to be about 100 hours of horse education on everything from barrel racing to reining to horsemanship, dressage and jumping. And as you probably know, and I'm sure as your listeners know, Westworld was one of the premier equestrian facilities in North America. So we're very happy to be there. And we've got 13 clinicians lined up that are going to be there so far anyway. And then we have also some entertainment planned for Friday and Saturday night. So it's pretty much everything that's going to interest anybody who's involved with horses from all across North America, we're hoping.
Well, you know, you've got a wonderful lineup of things. You've got all of the educational things from trainers, clinicians, also speakers on various topics. But you've also got the entertainment, which is going to be that equine extravaganza that you're going to hold Friday and Saturday evenings, which after you've shopped all day at the big vendor hall and you've been educated all day, then you can go sit down in the evening and just be entertained.
That's exactly our idea. And we're pretty excited. We have a show that's coming down from Las Vegas. It's called Gladius the Show. And they do everything from vaulting on horseback to Roman riding to sort of extreme trick riding. I don't know how else to describe it. That kind of thing. And they have a fire act, all of that. So that is very, very exciting, and I think everyone's going to enjoy that. And that part of the event is about an hour long. And then we're also pleased to have people like Francesca, who is involved with Steve Rother Horsemanship, and she has Spanky and Dally and Jet. And they are stars. They've been on The Tonight Show and that kind of thing. They were at Briar World. They were at the horse show in Washington, D.C. So there's some more little celebrities that are coming along. And as well, we have some of our clinicians who are going to do some performances on the Friday and Saturday night. So it's going to be like jam-packed, but people can just put up their feet, relax, laugh, enjoy, all of that.
Well, let me ask you now, because some of the other events going on, you got the Trainers Challenge going on. You've also got a Youth Pro-Am, and then, of course, you've got the huge vendor hall. But tell us a little about this Youth Pro-Am. What does that entail?
Well, the Pro-Am is something different. I don't think it's been done anywhere else. We started it up in Alberta, like one of our shows. And what it is we have youth riders who apply, and they have to be between the ages of 13 and 18, and they come with their horse, and then we pair them up with one of the clinicians. So they could be paired up with somebody from like Craig Schmerzel or Pat Pirelli, Warwick Schiller, all of those kind of people. And they go through a timed obstacle race. And it is absolutely hilarious to watch. We have had clinicians crawling around on the ground trying to get the horse to go over the obstacles and all of that. So it is so fun. The clinicians and trainers love it. The kids love it. The audience is in hysterics. And it's just a lot of fun. And we are very pleased to have that event sponsored by Back on Track. So we've teamed up with them, and they're going to be offering prizes. It's going to be a great thing to watch.
Well, you know what sounds fun to me, and I was honestly just looking at Youth Pro-Am, and I could not totally identify what that's going to be. But when you talk about the fun aspect of it, that it's not something where it's a pro working with the youth and it's all like studious in school type stuff. This sounds like it's got a real twist where it's just a lot of fun to do.
It is, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the trainers have never been on the kids' horses before. The kids get nervous and they get excited, and it is It's just a blast. I can't say. I'm hoping that we'll have a lot of kids that apply. Unfortunately, we narrow it down to about 6 or 8 for the trainers that are participating, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like it. You know, you've also got the Trainers Challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. The Trainers Challenges, we have 3 trainers. We have Clayton Edsel, Trey Young, and Brendan Clark, and they're going to be working with unbroke colts from the K4 Ranch up in Prescott, Arizona. So there's some really good bloodlines in those horses and some really awesome trainers. And what they're going to do is they're going to work with these colts for the 3 days of the expo in the round pen, and then on Sunday they go through a same thing, a timed obstacle course to see what they can get these colts to do. And I mean, it's not what you would normally start a horse with, that kind of thing, but it gives people a little bit of an insight on how these trainers actually work. And we just take everything down and we just condense it down to the 3 days so they can see, you know, what kind of ground, what kind of foundation they're putting into these colts. And the same thing, it's very, very entertaining for people to see. You know, it is judged, it is a marked competition, so we do announce a winner, but we really stress that 30% of their mark is based on how they educate this horse and the public. So people we want them to walk away with, you know, a little bit of learning, a little bit of foundation on how colts are started. We don't recommend that, you know, anybody go and do this on their own. It is a, you know, 30, 60, 90-day process. But it just gives them a little bit of insight on what can happen and how to work, how the horses learn, how the trainers teach, and how the public can learn.
Well, yeah, because most people, they get a horse with, you know, 90, 120 days riding, and they're either finishing or doing whatever. It's that first, you know, 30, 60 days that most people don't do. And this gives them an insight into that.
That's exactly it, you know. And I mean, a lot of people, of course, they will not want to do this first 30, 60, 90-day kind of idea. But again, it's interesting to watch and see how the trainers read the horses, how you can actually almost stand there and watch the horses think and understand. So that's very nice to watch.
You know, looking over your list of clinicians who are going to be there, you've got pretty much everything covered. I mean, Robert Eversole is one of your clinicians. And I've worked at many events with Robert, and he does a great job on trails and trail maintenance and how to trail ride and the things you need and the safety involved in this. So you can cover the trails. You've got Stormy Camarillo coming on barrels, Warwick Schiller with horsemanship, of course, Pat Pirelli. Then for cowboy dressage, Garn Walker. And that's a neat thing, that cowboy dressage.
It is. It's very, very interesting. And Garn's one of the best in the business that we've had the opportunity to work with. We actually lay out the course. We do the course right at the Expo. And Garn will take people through the course and show them, you know, how to ride it, how to read it, all of that kind of things, all the rules. So that's really interesting. And cowboy dressage is coming on, as probably as everybody knows out there, just like gangbusters. So.
Yeah, it's got a foothold everywhere around the country. I mean, I've been featuring that in, you know, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, from the East Coast to the West. It's really taken off. And then, of course, you've got dressage covered. Nicholas Fife is coming, so you've got dressage well covered as well.
We do, and we're really excited to work with Nicholas. He's originally from Australia and living in Florida right now, and just been doing wonderful things, putting on some awesome clinics down there. He was featured in some magazines internationally lately for his dressage, so we're really, really happy to have him. And I think, you know, the dressage community is, I'm hoping, going to come out and support him really well.
Now, you've got a huge vendor hall as well. Tell us a little bit about how you're mixing the vendors into this program.
Well, our thought is always that we don't want, you know, rows of trailers, that kind of thing. So what we do is we try to sort of mix all the vendors up. You might go from someone who has corrals and pens to someone who has feed to someone who has the cameras that you would put in your trailer to clothing, all of that kind of stuff. So basically, when you walk through the hall, there is something on every booth or every corner that's going to be of interest to people who own or who ride horses. You know, we don't want people to avoid certain areas because they think, oh, I don't want a trailer or I don't want to talk about feeds and supplements. It's everywhere. It's basically 3 days of horse.
Well, and like we said, you've got all of the clinicians and the educational speakers, and you've got the entertainment programs, you've got all the great shopping, and then, of course, you got the equine extravaganza. And Gladius coming out of Vegas, that I believe is Eric Martinovich, is it not?
It is Eric, and we're really happy to work with him. Eric, of course, has been in this business for a long time, and he's amazing to watch what he can do with these horses.
Yeah.
And I mean, the strength and the vaulting and the Roman riding, I mean, it's not something I'd want to try.
Well, I've worked with Eric many times, and he does a fantastic job. So to have Eric anchoring that evening show is really a plus. It's really a big deal. So
Yeah.
now tell us, you obviously this is your first event in Arizona, and again it's in Scottsdale at Westworld, May 26, 7, and 8 of this year. But you're no stranger to this. You've done events in North America. Where else are your events now?
We've actually done events for the past 14 years. We're in British Columbia, Canada. We do a show in Chilliwack, which is just outside of Vancouver there. We do one in Red Deer, Alberta, and Red Deer is situated halfway between Calgary, and not everybody knows Calgary for the Calgary Stampede, and Edmonton. So we're about an hour and 15, an hour and a half from each of those venues. And then one of our new expos is in London, Ontario. So we are really thrilled about that. We're fairly close to the border down there, and we're also, sort of situated so we can cover most of Ontario. Really big into horse country in Ontario, so we're really excited to run that expo. And that one is in May. The one in Ontario is May 12th to 14th.
Okay, let me ask you this, Gail. How do people look this up? What's the website again for this event?
Oh, the website is Maine, as in horse Maine, eventexpo.com. So it's pretty easy to remember, and just keep thinking horses again for the Main Event Expo.
Keep thinking Main Event Expo. This one that we're talking about, that Speaking of Horses will be involved in, is May 26, 7, and 8 in Scottsdale, Arizona. Gail, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Wayne. This has been just wonderful, and we just hope to see everybody there.
We look to see everybody there. Thank you very, very much, and thank you for joining us here on Speaking of Horses. Hey, we at Speaking of Horses invite you to join us as we bring you many, many programs over the next few months, from retired racehorse makeover programs to horse rescue operations to therapeutic riding operations. Well, that's our show. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. Speaking of Horses, we'll be back next week with a brand new show. Or join us at speakingofhorses.com.